Welcome to Virginia. 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 Welcome to Virginia.
Alright, it's your boy Jim Cat, Mr. Todd Lau. I'm here today. Welcome to Virginia Podcast. My cousin, Mr. Eric Calloway. Excuse my language. I get a little nervous when I get around famous people.
Right.
This is official Staten alumni right here. You know what I'm saying? Before we get into a whole lot of other stuff, like I was saying earlier, I wanted to get into you personally because I know you got a lot of history. You grew up in Staten, and you've been been a part of a lot of things that took place down here. So first, I just wanted to ask, what was it like for you growing up in Staten, Virginia?
I grew up on Sunnyside, which is Sunnyside Baptist Caroline. It was pretty good, you know. I really didn't want for anything. Our neighborhood, everybody was like a big family. You know, I could go from my house to the Sheppy's houses. I could go to the Fry's. I could go to Sheppy's. I could go to Minnie Ware's. I could go to anywhere. I could go anywhere in the neighborhood, any house. I could go to Dodie Fountain's house. I could go pretty much anywhere. And you don't have to knock. You could just walk in. It's like, baby, sit down and eat.
Word.
The Huggins house. I mean, just so many to just name a few, but
Word.
So many families.
So I know you were around. I'm gonna jump around a little bit. I know you were around in the 80s, during the 80s, 90s, during the crack epidemic, and I know you grew up in deep in it, in the trenches. So I wanted to ask you, what was it like for you, and what did you experience, and how did it affect you personally and the people around you during that time?
A lot of people I knew found the substance. And it was almost like they found a new religion. They found something to live for. It just like, times were tough for some people, and getting high was their way of just like dealing with it. Just like a musician plays, or, you know, someone sings, or you fish. That's just what they found. And all it takes is addictive personality. And the addictive personality is on two ends. On one end, my addictive personality was, I was a person who just could not stop saying, okay, I know where it's at.
Yeah.
To that nature. Like, you know, I may know someone. I got a friend that got a friend that got a friend. That's just the type of person I was. But I had no idea that, you know, the effect I would have on other people and all that.
Yeah.
And it just became one of the things, like, to men, it was almost like a bonding point because, you know, the jobs, really, we weren't getting the jobs making a lot of money. It was right there. I mean, it was right there. It was almost to the point with a lot of people, like, I'm going to watch him eat really good and eat with him, or I'm going to sit here and watch him eat and wonder why I'm hungry. But the risk...
Yeah.
The risk you had to take was, in that moment, in the right now, when your belly's growling, you're not thinking about the consequences.
Yeah.
You're thinking about the consequences of you getting some food and your belly stopped growling so you could sleep, maybe.
Yeah.
But you're not really thinking about, you know, the people you're affecting, or time down the road, or maybe having to go to jail and starting life over. It's never about that. It's sometimes life puts you in a position where you get locked in the moment.
Yeah.
And being in that moment is all that matters. And, you know, sometimes in life, those are the times in life where they have the biggest consequences. But those are the times in your life where you really find out who you are, where you stand with yourself and everyone that you know. And that's just the way I saw it.
I know you were a part of a big crew around here in Staten, Virginia. I don't want to call it a gang because that's not what it was. There was a brotherhood called the Jungle. What was it like being a part of that brotherhood? What did that mean to you?
The biggest part about the Jungle that I remember was our breakdancing crew. We had 12 members. We had people in the crew that the only reason that they was on the breakdance team is because if you voted against him, you probably would have got your ass beat. So even though they couldn't break dance, really pop or nothing like that, you had to be deep in high security. So anybody want to be on the team, you on the team. And that's just the way it was. People used to say, oh, this is a gang, oh, it's nothing. It was guys who started off camping out together and break dancing and all this, playing football and all that. And you form that bond with people, whether they're on the team or not. They might not play the next year, but that's still your friend.
Yeah.
He might not go your direction, but that's still your friend. So when you get a bunch of friends together, then you like, okay, you got each other's backs regardless. So, I mean, that's just the way it went. And most of the people involved were related.
Yeah.
So you would say, oh, this is this. But if you went down the line and say, how many of y'all related? Pretty much we all were related. So it was like a family.
Yeah.
So like if you're in Stanton and you go to Waynesboro, you got all your family with you.
Yeah.
Why would you get hurt? Why would your family not get in it? That's just the way it is. Somebody try to hurt my family. Family jumps in, they help family. And that's just the way that went. I mean,
Yeah, I remember Jungle. I remember it being tossed around as so many different things other than what it really was. You know what I'm saying? I mean, when you put a name on something, people try to describe it as things and whatever they want it to be.
Right.
Because one person can do something, and by they being affiliated to that name, then that's what it is.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I saw it take different turns and things. I never even knew about the breakdancing and none of that stuff. That's why I asked, because I wanted to know all kinds of stuff.
The reason it was called the Jungle is because it was a tribe.
Yeah.
Now, it was a tribe which consists of many different tribes.
Yeah, definitely.
Many different families, many different people who just, during that community, found a way to survive and help each other grow, and it consisted there. It wasn't like someone came and said, hey, let's just do this, or hey, we're going to be a mafia, or hey, we're going to do this. We just start hanging out and opportunities start presenting themselves.
Yeah.
Like playing basketball and playing soccer and learning different things. Somebody always would go off somewhere and come back with something new, like, hey, let's do this. Let's all get paper routes. So we started off as kids, like riding bikes and racing when Montgomery Hall had the motocross.
Oh, yeah.
Right. My brother won trophies bigger than him. He couldn't even pick him up. My brother Quincy. So he had trophies bigger than him. So he'd come back like, yo, we get these bikes, we can race. And everybody was just branching off doing different things.
I never even knew that, because I remember that joint down there at the bottom.
Right.
And I used to ride my mountain bike down there, but I never understood why it was there and nothing was really going on with it. Because by the time I was old enough, I guess it wasn't really being used for nothing like that. The course was just still there.
Well, see, they had races in Winchester, like maybe West Virginia, Maryland, different places, because Quincy traveled.
I ain't never know that.
Yeah. He traveled, and man, he won trophies down there. But they just took it away.
Dang.
I mean, it went away. It was a lot of empty promises on, they were supposed to be in a pond without rowboats, so you could fish up here. There's supposed to be a lot of stuff, but all of a sudden, it's not.
Dang, I never knew that.
It was a plan, but what happened?
And I'll ask you this: like now, do you see a difference in Montgomery Hall Park now? Like, because for me, it's like back in the day, some of us still do refer to it as the Black Park.
Right.
But now you're seeing like tennis courts all down the bottom and like a whole lot of trails. It's almost like it's turned. I might be looking at it the wrong way, but it looks like it's turning into a thing where it's now everybody's park, which it should have been everybody's park anyway. Like the other one should have been everybody's park, but things were segregated, I guess, you know what I'm saying, back in the day. And now it's like, now there's not that way. It seems like they're slowly turning it into everybody's park up here.
Right. It was pretty much always for the people.
Yeah.
And it's never been to where it was like, okay, this is the Black Park. This is just the other park.
Yeah.
Like for Mary Baldwin, it wasn't on the maps. It wasn't on the map in Stanton. It wasn't considered anything till it got considered historical, and people started digging up the real information on it. But to be honest about it, it's here for anybody.
Yeah.
But due to the fact that when they said, okay, we're going to close at 8 o'clock because people were burning the trash cans, setting fires. There were people doing things up here that would have bothered people that came here to have a good time.
Yeah.
So they stopped the hours so they didn't have to come up here after dark. Which when I wrote a letter to the editor, and Jerry Miller, he wrote a letter to the editor. Okay, so we write letters. The dude totally makes, these comical things about it. Nobody follows up. Nobody writes. Nobody comes to the city hall meetings. Nobody does anything. So they said, okay, due to the lack of people showing that they care, then there you have it.
Wow.
So now it is what it is.
I ain't know any of that.
So if you want it to be, you show up downtown, say, hey, we want a petition to have this done. We put it on the docket, we vote, and you get it.
Don't you think that's like the biggest problem with our people anyway? It's like we can sit around all night long and have a conversation about what needs to be done, who needs to do it, and how we need to come together. And then tomorrow, everybody goes on back to their regular lives. Nothing ever. We don't get back together and start putting the plans in motion.
Right.
I think that's always been the problem with our people. I ain't gonna say all of our people, but you know what I'm saying. For the most part, it's like it's never any follow up. There's never any. You know what I'm saying.
Right.
Because just like what you're talking about with that situation, it could have been that simple. Show up for the meetings, show interest, show that because all you got to do is keep your foot on their neck and they're going to have to give you something.
Right.
But if you don't give them nothing, they sit back laughing like them motherfuckers don't care nothing about that shit.
Right.
And they shut the book on it.
Right. So when we had a petition, people wouldn't sign it. What am I signing? Why am I putting their name there? They just felt like they would be retaliated upon from their job or
by putting their name
from
on
their little groups they belong to or whatever little cliques or societies they belong to. But in the overall picture, signing the petition was just like signing a petition to get someone on the ballot to run for president or governor or something. It's just putting your name saying, hey, I agree with that we should have a bigger playground in the top of the park. I agree we should have a big slide. I agree we should have like a place where you could come up here and fish. I should agree we should have like a little bridge with a walking trail so you can do that.
Yeah.
I really do think that this park has enough.
It's got enough
to where it can have more attractions. It's the biggest park pretty much.
Well, that makes
almost in Virginia.
That kind of answers my question then, because people not following up and doing what, like you saying, you had the petitions and all the things, and people didn't want to sign it. Then that's why we have tennis courts being built down there and not seeing things that our people would normally be engaging in being put forth. Because I'm sure there's a whole lot of other people saying, hey, we want this. And I bet they're signing those pieces of paper and getting their people to put in motion, we should have another one of these.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
See, so this is the plan. Okay, so let's say this. Let's say you go to the city, you say, okay, I'm going to start a soccer league. I'm going to have 10 teams. I'm going to have 12 players on each team. They're going to pay $100 a month. It's going to be recreation. Then you can do what you want during the summer and the off season, and we'll teach kids soccer, make enough money where to pay for the upkeep of it. Okay, boom. That's a no-brainer. Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't they give it to you? You got all your numbers right.
Yeah.
But then people say, okay, well, I feel like they should get some proceeds. No, you shouldn't get proceeds. You should just interact. They're always
trying to find some kind of way to get themselves something.
Right. So you do your part in it so you can bring your kids there. Yeah. So therefore you are adding to like, okay, they don't have to pay somebody who just checks people in because parents would just volunteer. And in return, your kids get to go for free. Yeah. So their friends are going to come. It keeps it going. But see, we don't think like that. Yeah. We only think like in comparison. Yeah. Like I want to compare my shoes to yours. I want to compare my life to yours. And we stay in comparisons. As long as you're comparing your life to someone else, you're always second best because you're trying to keep up with the alter ego. Yeah. Something that's not even you. Yeah. That's not even real to try to be like another man. I've never ever been in a group where I wasn't a leader. Yeah. I've never been a follower.
Damn sure right.
I've been in a pack, but still, I had to go my own way because I am a leader. I'm not a follower. Yeah. I have to do it my way.
Damn right.
It's just the way it goes. And it works for me. It works easier. But there are people who, that's not them. They want to follow. So if the group is saying, hey, let's get a pool at the park. They say yay today, and then as soon as somebody turn around tomorrow and be like, nah, we ain't, forget them. We don't want no pool up there. Then people digress. They digress faster than it is to take the challenge. They digress fast here. Right, they digress fast. And once you digress like that, and you start going against your things that will make you happy, then you just working toward dying.
Yeah.
Because if you ain't working toward living, what's the alternate to that?
That's the only one.
Working toward dying,
yeah,
right?
It's the only one.
Get busy living or get busy dying. That's the way I was told.
Yep.
Right. So, in a nutshell, that is what's going on here.
And see, I always wanted that, and you summed it up for me, pretty good. And like before we got on camera, you was going into Uniontown. Like I said, I'm jumping around and stuff like that. You was going into Uniontown and stuff like that. If you could kind of reiterate what we was talking about and touch on some of that for us, because like I said, I had no clue about Uniontown. I didn't even know it existed until about a month ago. And me and my partner Todd, we went around and we got footage and things of that nature. But Dwayne Witherspoon, shout out to Dwayne Witherspoon, he's been doing research. He got a petition that he's trying to get people together. It seems like it's a struggle just to get people to hit a button on Facebook that says, just to sign a digital petition. It ain't like you got to show up nowhere and write on or nothing. Right. It's even hard to get people to do that. So if you could just touch on that a little bit, I appreciate it.
Like as far as Uniontown, like when I went to Lehigh, it was pretty much like what y'all doing this weekend. We can go to the park, we can do this, but if Friday night or Saturday night, there was a party in Uniontown at Jimmy Miller's house, everybody was there.
Word.
I mean, like everybody, I'm talking about not just everybody from here. It be Stanton, Waynesboro, Hessenburg, Charlottesville, people, West Virginia. It was so many people in this yard, you could have took a picture and you couldn't tell how many people was in his yard.
You got everybody.
At any given time. I mean, like the whole city everybody was gone.
Damn.
If you look around and you can't find nobody, they're at Jimmy Miller's house. So you got to get down Uniontown.
Damn.
I used to walk down there with David Miller.
That's
when
crazy.
he lived down there because we would have football practice and stuff like that. He wanted to hang out over Sunnyside with me and Carrick and Magwood and Quincy and all, Melvin.
Yeah.
We played football on the street till it got dark. But then he had to go home, so sometimes I used to ask, like, could I go down there and spend the night? Like, what the hell? And I walk with him. We walked the railroad tracks. We walked all the way down Uniontown.
Damn.
And we get there, and his parents knew that, like, he was going to walk it. Because that's just what he wanted to do. It's just.
And you told me that about the bus station and all that.
Yeah.
You saying who used to own the bus station? And
if I believe right, that was Mr. Anderson. If I'm telling it right, and he lived down there, man, and he owned the bus station downtown, the Trailways, and that's where you went down to catch the bus. And he had his own buses and everything, man. I mean, like the dude's got a lot of land down there in Uniontown. Then there's Mr. Nate Perez. He's been down there pretty much, I guess, owned property most of his life. And that was a gentleman I got to meet, and I got to help him do some work for that in his house down there. And then there's David Miller and his family. Like I said, I've been family with his family since I was, younger.
Yeah.
But those are the main memories I have. And then Jimmy Miller. I mean, like, I guess when Jimmy Miller and them moved, I guess they closed the street off down there, so you can't even drive all the way through where the quarry's at.
Yeah.
They shut it down.
Yeah, they got a big, what you call like a guardrail block with a stop sign on it. You can't get through there or nothing.
They said it flooded out, but I think Jimmy Miller's parties did.
Shout out Jimmy Miller.
The police come in one way, everybody ran out through the track. Everybody going out another way.
I know that's right.
They couldn't catch nobody down in there.
They probably scared as hell to go back in there.
Right.
Shit. That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Well, yo, I definitely appreciate sitting down and talking to you. We're going to keep talking, but we're going to do a little bit more off camera because I don't want to give my homeboy too much work to have to do editing and doing all that kind of stuff.
I feel you.
But I definitely appreciate talking to you. I definitely appreciate you coming out and giving me some of your time. You know what I'm saying? It's always good to see you. My cousin, my family, I love you to death. So this was a good experience for me on or off camera, and I appreciate you. So until next time, this is the Welcome to Virginia podcast. Your boy Jim Cat.
It's your boy Todd.
And yo, Charlie C, the artist.
You know what I mean? Walking landmark. We out.
Peace.
Just like a minute or two clip talking about your comedy.
So when I got started, like I always knew that comedy would be something that I would do. So I came back to stand and I was like, man, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna do. So my boy Carrick hit me up and was like, yo, it's a fly in the park. It's hanging up. So we rode bikes out there to check it out. For real, it was out there. So fly saying, hey, if you could do improv comedy, you think you funny, show up. So I go down there, I meet with the director, his name is David Webster. We became best friends. I mean, like, you know, that's my ace. That's my partner. That's, you know. And so pretty much it was like $100 for the class. And I was like, man, yo, I don't have $100 for these classes.
Yeah.
But if you let me in the classes, I won't let you forget that you giving me free classes.
Yeah.
Like if you need somebody to usher people in, I'm just learning. If you need somebody to help you set up a stage or help you clean up shit or whatever you need somebody to do, I help you do it so I can get these classes. So it took a couple months and I was like, man, I ain't catching no traction. Everybody like, you think you funny, you ain't even in the shows. You showing me to my seat in the basement with a Batman picture on the wall.
Oh, shit.
Niggas a sink in the back, in the basement. I'm like you, but I'm funny. I was like, yo, I'm funny than a lot of people I know. So anyway, so finally, the tables turned and I just started showing the most energy. So then one night, you threw me on the stage. And from then, I never got off of it.
That's what's up.
There was a lot of people that were ahead of me in the class, and I ended up doing a movie in Atlanta with him that had George Wendt in it. It was like Bartender's Day. It was for a $1 billion company. I'm still on the website. You can look it up.
Damn.
It's called Q Principle. Well, anyway, so the reason I got to go is because I was on unemployment. And the other people, they had school, they had life, they couldn't go. So I told them, I was like, yo, to get out of Stanton, to go to Atlanta, I'll go for free. Just like give me a room, I'll work with the crew, I'll do, you know what I'm saying? I just want to go for the trip. I just want to get out of Stanton. I want to go to Atlanta.
Word.
So he was like, nah, if you going, I got you. And he wrote a part just for me.
Damn.
In the script, wrote a part. My best friend wrote a part just for me in the script. And we ran it. And I got the improv with George Wendt from Cheers. And it was amazing. Got to drink a beer with him, man. It was awesome. We became friends. He sent me a mug. It's got our pictures on it and everything. But like, you know, from there on, it just went from doing shows at the Clock Tower, Waynesboro. We did shows in Atlanta. We did shows, I mean, everywhere we could do, all types of vineyards and hunt clubs and everything. We went from time to time and time and time. And then finally we ended up in Richmond. So we do like this big rehearsal. We got a studio. We got lights, camera, action. We doing live shows. We do an audition. We got 100 people ready to go. 6 different improv movies and shows we're going to do.
Word.
And then COVID comes.
Damn.
So it just got down to where it's like we didn't have nothing. We could do it online. We could do it this. Everything got crazy. And so, like, you know, after not having the income for the stage, it was almost like we put everything we had into it. The last night of it being there, I stayed on the stage. I slept on it.
Damn.
I was like, man, like, yo, I didn't, like, I'm going to wake up and this is going to be a badass dream.
Yeah.
I just built this stage. I got a crowd of 60 people. I got people coming to see me. You know, I'm getting mad love. I'm in Richmond.
Yeah.
You know, I'm about to get my name on a billboard. I picked out my billboard and the side of the bus I wanted to be on.
Damn.
Because I was going there.
Yeah. Oh,
Stop.
damn.
Now, I didn't stop. It stopped.
Yeah.
But I kept going.
Yeah.
So after being through all that and now going through all this, now the time I've healed myself a lot. I've grown a lot, got to know myself a lot. Now I'm at the point to where I really, really know where the funny's coming from in me.
Word.
And it's my normal life. The stuff I do that's funny, it ain't gonna offend you.
Yeah.
It's gonna make you laugh. Because either you're gonna have something in common or you're just gonna think it's funny. That's where it is. I mean, that's the era where comedy's going now. Because if you don't got money like Dave Chappelle and you want to start a fight, you better have some money.
Yeah.
If you want to pick on people and do all that, you better have plenty of money. You better be solid. And you know what? Why even do that?
Yeah.
Why even do that? That's not comedy. That's not humor. Humor is, I say something to you like a song, like the song I want to say, like, I can't hold your legs up. Like his song. That just make you laugh.
Yeah.
So that's all on me. It ain't on nobody else. It'll be taken that way by a few.
Yeah.
But it's not meant that. It's a weakness of mine. Hey. And that's where my humor comes from.
Word.
The funny things I've done. The stories I can tell. That's where my humor comes from.
And there y'all have it. Mr. Eric Calloway himself. Welcome to Virginia Podcast. We out of here.
Welcome to Virginia. Welcome to Virginia.
I'm trying to hold the legs up. Look, she got these good sheets like so my knees slide. My feet are slid on the edge. And look, I'm going off the bed and I'm thinking to myself, girl, I can't hold your legs up. Man, that's supposed to be on camera. Man, I want to. Girl, I can't hold your legs up. But I want to.